Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and Masterworks, one of my sponsors, just added a new piece of artwork called Antelope Attack Near Gas Pipe 2, 2019. And if you don't remember, and I'll put the link to that in the description, the top of the description of this video, this is from Masterworks CEO. This is what they do.
Larger institutional investors. Well, the way it works is we go out, we purchase a painting that we think is an investment grade painting, and then we file that painting with the SEC, very similar to how a company goes public. So as soon as a painting is filed with the SEC, we begin selling shares, and people can own fractional interests in individual paintings. By turning the art...
So basically, you can spend as little as $500 to buy into those paintings on there. If that's something you're interested in looking at, go check it out. But for me, I'm going to check in with the official cool guy of the Digital Asset Investor channel, and I'm assuming he's commenting on the Celsius news. Celsius is not letting their, from what I've heard, they are not letting their customers get access to their accounts. Listen to what the cool guy says.
Put your crypto on cold storage, get a ledger, not your keys, not your crypto. Stop staking until it's fully insured and the system's ready. Get a job in the meantime.
I can't disagree with him. And speaking of Celsius, here's Eleanor Terrett. Celsius Network in communication with the SEC as the four states joined Texas investigating into the company following its decision to suspend customer redemptions. Uh-oh. And then there's this from Bloomberg Wealth. Elon Musk, SpaceX, and Tesla are being sued for $258 billion over claims they are part of a racketeering scheme to back Dogecoin. Folks, Dogecoin is too much of a joke to be involved in any kind of racketeering, I would think. But I've always, ever since Elon Musk started talking about it, I always thought that he was just being funny, which is kind of what he was doing, and I've never really taken it that serious. Okay, Zero Hedge. U.S. Treasury official says State Department is monitoring activity in cryptocurrency. Never let a crisis go to waste, folks, right? Market recent turmoil underscores urgent need for regulatory frameworks. Has the Treasury seen the turmoil in stocks? Exactly. There's nothing urgent about the stock market. Okay, it's been getting killed too. There's nothing urgent about revamping a Federal Reserve who keeps interest rates at a ridiculously low point, which causes all of these problems we're now going through for over 10 years. Okay, they don't need to be, that doesn't need to be monitored or there's no urgent need for regulatory. What they need is an urgent need to create a new framework other than the Federal Reserve System. That's what they need to urgently do. But no, they can't do that. All right, Library had tweeted this out. All the evidence SEC has submitted regarding historical exchange of LBC is literally just screenshots of CoinMarketCap. And John Deaton says everyone should be alarmed at the lazy approach by the SEC. In fact, that's what the Library SEC, the Library CEO had said one time in a video, that the SEC was lazy. Also, SEC isn't relying on a single expert witness. Why is that so alarming? Does that mean the SEC believes it doesn't need one because they are confident the judge will go along with the government? Now, folks, this right here is something we haven't really talked about in this thing, but let me tell you what, with everything that's been dug up on this SEC, the fact that this judge isn't visibly pissed off right now is pretty alarming to me. Visibly pissed off. If I was the judge, I'd be throwing things at this point. I'd be throwing things and saying, why in the hell are you in my courtroom, in my Zoom courtroom? Or in Gary, why are you in my Zoom courtroom from your living room, or whoever his attorneys are there? I'm sure Gary's not really making a presence. That would be too brave of an act for Gary to show up. Speaking of too brave of an act, here's the guy who dropped the Ripple lawsuit and walked right out the door so that he didn't have to answer for anything, Jay Clayton. And Grayscale thinks that it's a good idea to have him speak as a past SEC chairman, or what do they call him? The honorable SEC chairman? Yeah. I haven't seen anything honorable out of any of these people. And then we have this from Bank of International Settlements. Looky here. Cryptocurrencies such as Ethereum rely on miners to update the blockchain. These intermediaries can include, exclude, and order transactions at will, allowing for market manipulation in DeFi. Folks, we're talking years of I was telling somebody on the phone today, everything around Ethereum smells like corruption or smells like some kind of shady business going on from the inception until now. Pretty much everything. The people, including a lot of the people that have been pumping it. That's where all the shade is. And we can only hope that that's by design. Years of manipulation. That would, of course, be under the all the world's a stage flag, right? Now, I just thought this was an interesting point to make. Jeff Bezos' letter to shareholders in 2000, this is from Digital Asset News. When the dot-com crash was happening, sometimes good companies get caught up in the narrative. In the short term, the stock market is a voting machine. In the long term, it's a weighing machine. And I believe Ripple is going to be extremely heavy on that weighing machine. Just in, billionaire Mikey Novogratz says the economy is going to collapse and we're heading into a really fast recession. I don't agree with him on a lot, but I agree with him on that. John Deaton weighed in on this. Since Empower their referral, they referred this to Congress about demanding an investigation into the SEC. 4,000 since that referral, 4,890 advocates sent 16,649 messages reaching all members of Congress. 14,561 have sent 50,913 messages to Congress demanding an investigation of gross appearances of impropriety by senior SEC officials on crypto regulations. Now, again, just like I said about the judge in these court cases, if you don't see one congressman, and we will start naming names once we find out who has said something and who has not, we're going to point out very clearly, shout out, in fact, all of the Congress people who have seen this referral and have done nothing, or what they have done. And John Deaton, if you're listening, help me follow up on that. I would love to know who has done what. Have any of these congressmen done anything except run their mouths and fog the mirror with their breath about just talk? Have any of them done anything? Okay, moving along. All right, now, MoneyGram International, we're so excited about the rollout of the first of its kind global on-off ramp service between crypto and cash in partnership with Stellar. Now, I want you to really pay attention to what I'm talking about and showing you for the next 5 minutes, okay? So here's your MoneyGram app. It's got Stellar USDC. Remember, USDC, which was created by Circle. USDC was built on Ethereum, but they had to run it on Stellar because Ethereum's too slow, right? So they run it on Stellar. We've kind of always said on this channel, everything's going to run on Stellar and the XRP ledger. I believe that with everything in my voice right now. I believe that that's the way this thing ends up. Now, so this MoneyGram is and remember, MoneyGram was partnered with Ripple. Ripple gets, I'll cover that in a second. We'll get there. Then there's this, Digital Pound Foundation. Now remember, this is the same Digital Pound Foundation. This is the Digital Pound Foundation that has been promoting Ripple for the last month, okay? Showing how they're having meetings with Ripple and Ripple's partnered with their Digital Pound Foundation and all of that. Well, now, they did today in my last video. The Circle had announced a what they called a Euro coin, okay, which is a stable coin similar to their USDC coin. Well, they did an entire The Digital Pound Foundation, who's partnered with Ripple, does an entire thread promoting this euro coin. Okay. Now, when I was at Consensus this past week, every chair, I made a point to take this picture because every single chair at that conference had Stellar, a Stellar like a wrap on it. Okay, every chair. Then you got this Digital Pound Foundation that's been touting Ripple for months now, really. And then, if you remember at the World Economic Forum, this was back on May 23rd. This is from Leonidas. Go give him a subscribe. Remember when you remember who Jeremy Allaire of Circle was sitting right beside?
Approach, and if you start to want to interact with an identity that is doing a larger amount, then you might have other identity requirements that emerge. But we have to preserve digital cash. That has to work on the open internet. It has to work interoperably with anyone, anywhere.
Interoperably, you say?
We're going to solve this problem, and I think we're really close. I mean, USDC itself we've seen over $3.5 trillion of transactions directly on the internet between counterparties. And so if we can, improve it with more scalable blockchain technologies like, Brad's company provides, and we can make this extremely low cost to move, and then enable individuals with digital wallets that can interact, and you can scale into the risk, right, is the way I like to think of it. But at a base layer, if you want to solve for this problem, governments have to accept that people want digital cash. That is a product that they want. And from a remittance perspective, that's critical. If you want to educate someone and say, hey, you should do this digitally, they want to know, is this as good as cash? Can someone turn it off? Can they turn it off? Is it as good as what I get when I get cash? And I think we need to answer that question definitively as a society if we want to solve this remittance problem.
Absolutely. And just, you want to come back?
Well, I, on a philosophical basis, I agree with Jeremy, full stop. The thing to think about, I think, is if you approach the regulators with you need to adapt to us, I mean, that is dead on arrival. Like in my experience, and globally, and frankly, even here in Davos, meeting with financial regulators in all kinds of countries, I think we have to acknowledge Ben Bernanke.
Okay. Anyway, the point is, we've shown a lot of that stuff now. So let's roll this into this. So this was from Consensus. That's Dan L. Dixon, who's of Stellar. But first, let's make sure we go through and have a complete understanding of how everything's fallen out. 1, SEC allows Ripple to work with MoneyGram. They had to sign off on it, as I recall. 2, SEC sues Ripple after they've let Ripple work with MoneyGram so that MoneyGram can't work with them. 3, Stellar, but before number 1, let's not forget, we can't forget this. Bill Hinman and Jay Clayton helped Alibaba go public, and then Ant Financial, which owned, I think it's the holding company of Alibaba, tried to buy MoneyGram, but the Trump administration wouldn't let them and killed the deal. That's when Ripple became a partner with MoneyGram. That's important to know. Then 2, SEC sues Ripple, so MoneyGram can't work with them. And who sues them? Jay Clayton, and Bill Hinman was all up in this thing, folks. 3, Stellar, almost the same tech, but can work with MoneyGram because it doesn't get sued by the SEC. And 4, Stellar, MoneyGram, Circle work together now. I was born at night, but not last night, baby. And that is a Kid Rock song. Or it's words in a Kid Rock song. Now, these are all Federal Reserve people. They were also at Consensus 22. Listen to what this guy says.
So I'm the chief payment executive for the Federal Reserve System, which means all of our payment systems, if you think about the last 100 articles you read about the Federal Reserve, they were probably about monetary policy or other things like that. They probably weren't about operations or payments, but that's my part of the business. And so everything from distribution and stored inventories of currency, distributing that in this country and around the world, all the way through check clearing systems, the ACH, and Fedwire real-time large dollar payments, and coming soon in 2023, our new instant payment solution called FedNow that's going to enable everybody here in the country to make instant payments to other consumers and businesses nationwide and have that settled instantly.
Now, if you're one of those people that's listening to my voice who still doesn't get it, and you're saying, oh, they're not talking about crypto, they're not talking about digital assets, well, then I ask you one simple question. Why in the hell are 4 of them on stage at the largest crypto conference in the world? And that question answers itself. But Andrezel also takes us a little bit into this. XRP to bridge different domestic RTP systems around the world, including FedNow. David Schwartz mentioning FedNow in a speech. So this is David Schwartz. So there's definitely an opportunity here to bridge domestic real-time payment systems such as FedNow. And don't forget the old Everest document, folks. What does this say from the United States? ACH, Fedwire, what connects them and everything else? The XRP freaking ledger. And finally, Flare put this out today. Now remember, they said that they had to go through a final audit before they could launch the Flare token, which they said they were going to launch, if nothing went wrong, on July the 4th. The digital asset investor will be smoking a brisket in honor of Flare, and I will do a promo on it on July 4th if this actually happens. Summary of findings: the audit did not uncover any significant flaws or defects that could impact confidentiality, integrity, or availability of the Flare node or the network at large. Summary of the finding. And by the way, Flare does not sponsor me in any way. If I did smoke this brisket in their honor, it is purely for entertainment purposes only. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only, like I just said. Hit the like button, do your thing, and let me tell you this. If Flare actually launches on July 4th, the digital asset investor will be smoking a brisket, and they're not cheap. We'll celebrate. And that doesn't mean that Flare's going to come out and be worth $1 and we're all going to be rich. That just means that it's been a long time coming, and we'll celebrate just the fact that it came out. Hopefully there will be a reason to